Okay, we're going to continue on in the Apocrypha. This is the second book of Esdras, chapter 7, verse 81. The first way is that they have scorned the law of the Most High. The second way is that they can no longer make a good repentance, so they may live. The third way is to see the reward destined for those who have believed the agreements of the Most High. The fourth way is that they will consider the torment destined for them in the last days. And the fifth way is that they will see that the dwelling places of the others are guarded by angels in profound silence. The sixth way is that they will see that some of them will pass over to be tormented henceforth. The seventh way, which is worse than all the ways that have been mentioned, is that they will waste away in shame and be consumed in disgrace and wither with fear at seeing the glory of the Most High, before whom they have sinned while they live, before whom they have destined to be judged in the last times. But of those who observe the ways of the Most High, this is the order, when they shall be separated from this fragile jar. In the time when they lived in it, they carefully served the Most High, though they were in danger every hour, so as to keep the law of the lawgiver perfectly. Therefore, this is the teaching about them. First of all, they see with great rapture the glory of him who takes them up, for they will rest in 7 orders. The first order is that they have striven with more toil to conquer the wicked, though that was formed with them so that they should not lead them away from life to death. The second order is to see that the labyrinth in which the souls of the ungodly wander and the punishment that awaits them. The third order is that they see the testimony that he who formed them has borne to them, because when they were alive, they faithfully observed the law which was given them. The fourth order is that they understand the rest which they now enjoy, gathered in their chambers, in great quietness, watched over by angels, and the glory that awaits them in the last days. The fifth order is that they should exult that they have now escaped what is corruptible and will possess the future as their inheritance, and besides perceive the narrowness and the toilsomeness from which they have been freed, and the spaciousness they are destined to receive and enjoy in immorality. The sixth order is that they should be shown to them how their face is destined to shine like the sun, and how they are to be made like the light of the stars, and be incorruptible thenceforth. The seventh order, which is greater than all than those that have been mentioned, is that they will exult boldly, and they will trust confidently and rejoice fearlessly, for they hasten to see the face of him whom they served in life, and from whom they are to receive their reward when they are glorified. These are the orders of the souls of the upright, as henceforth proclaimed. And the above ways of the torture are those which those would not give heed will henceforth suffer. And I answered and said, excuse me. And then will time be given the souls after they are separated from the bodies, to see what you have told me of. And he said to me, they have freedom for 7 days to see the 7 days the things that you have been told, and afterward they will be gathered in their dwellings. And I answered and said, if I have found favor in your sight, show me your slave further, whether on the day of judgment the upright will be able to intercede for the ungodly, or to beseech the Most High on their behalf, fathers or sons, sons or parents, brothers for brothers, relatives for their kinsmen, and friends for those who are most dear to them. And he answered to me and said, Since you have found favor in my sight, I will show you this also. The day of judgment is final and shows to all the stamp of truth. Just as now a father cannot send his son, or a son his father, or a master his slave, or a friend his dearest friend to be sick for him, or sleep or eat or be cured, so no one can pray for another or lay a burden on another. For they must bear everyone his own iniquity or uprightness then. And I answered and said, How then do we now find the first Abraham prayed for the men of Sodom, and Moses for our forefathers who sinned in the desert, and Joshua after him for Israel in the days of Achan, and Samuel in the days of Saul, and David for the plague, and Solomon for those in the sanctuary, and Elijah for those who received the rain, and for one who was dead, that he might live, and Hezekiah for the people in the days of Sennacherib, and many others for many. So if now, when corruption has increased and wrong has multiplied, the upright have prayed for the ungodly, why will it not be so then also? And he answered me and said, The present world is not the end, and its glory is not lasting. Therefore those who were strong prayed for the weak. But the day of judgment will be the end of the world, and the beginning of the immortal world to come, in which corruption has passed away, immorality is ended, unbelief is admonished, and uprightness has increased, and truth has appeared. So no one will then be able to pity one who is condemned in the judgment, or harm one who is victorious. And I answered and I said, This is my first and last word, for it would have been better for the earth not to have produced Adam, or when it produced him, compelled him not to sin. For what good is it for all men to live in sorrow and expect punishment after death? O Adam, what have you done? For although it was you who sinned, the fall was not yours alone, but also ours. For we are descended from you. For what good does it do us if the eternal world is promised to us? But we have done deeds that bring death, and that is imperishable hope is proclaimed to us, but we have miserably failed, and that safe and healthy habitations are reserved for us, but we have lived wickedly, and that the glory of the Most High is going to protect those who have lived purely. But we have walked in the most wicked ways, and that a paradise will be revealed, the fruit of which endures uncorrupted, which contains plenty and healing. But we cannot enter it, for we have lived in unseemly ways, and that the faces of those who have practiced abstinence will shine brighter than the stars. But our faces will be blacker than darkness. For when we were alive and committed iniquity, we did not consider what we were to suffer after death. And he answered and said, This is the meaning of the battle that every man born on earth must fight. That if he is beaten, he will suffer what you have said. But if he is victorious, he will receive what I say. For this is the way of which Moses spoke when he was alive, saying to the people, Choose life for yourself, so that you may live. But they would not believe him or the prophets after him, or yet me who have spoken to them. So there will not be much grief at their destruction, as joy over those who have been persuaded of salvation. And I answered and I said, I know, sir, that the Most High is now called merciful, because he has mercy on those who have not yet come into the world, and gracious, because he is gracious to those